to move over, and I hope that they will be allowing us to push out more into the street so there's room for everybody to see and hear. Thank you. Naftali Frankel, Gilad Sha'ar, Eyal Yafrach. 3 innocent teenagers were on their way home from school to spend Shabbos with their families when Islamic terrorists kidnapped them. We stand here today in solidarity with their families and the state of Israel. This is not a political rally. This is a division between those who are ready to kidnap innocent boys and girls and use them as pawns in their struggle, versus those of us who care about children, nurture our children, and protect them. Our mission today is to show achdut, unity, and pray for the release and safe return of Naftali, age 16, Eyal, age 19, and Gilad, age 16, and for the safe return home of the brave IDF soldiers who are searching for them. They are our sons. They are our brothers. They are our family, which is why they are our responsibility. Please join Rabbi Joseph Potasnik, Executive Vice President of the New York Board of Rabbis, as he leads us in Psalm 121 for the safe return of our boys. Rabbi Potasnik.
We thank everyone who arranged this, because we're here today as one family. And we say, "Es ist unsere Kinder," these are our kids, Heim Shalonu. You have to hear the words of Naomi Frankel today speaking to the UN in Geneva. And she said to them that no parent anywhere should have to plead for a kid to come home. And I ask this question: all of these organizations at the UN that talk about torture, that pass resolutions against torture, where are all the organizations today when parents are being tortured because they have no information about their kids? The UN declared this year to be the year of the child. But what they didn't tell you was, it's the year of the child for everyone but the Jewish child, but for the Israeli child. No statements from the UN. As a matter of fact, the only statement we heard is they're not sure if these kids were kidnapped. They don't have any definite information. I would like to make a suggestion. You recently heard that the head of Hamas's grandchild and mother-in-law were treated in a hospital in Israel. So let's arrange a swap. Give us back our kids, and you don't have to use our hospitals. Give us the kids back. You don't have to go to our doctors. So here we are today, and we say very simply, as Jews, as non-Jews, Sari Singer brings kids together who are victims of terrorism from every part of the world. So it starts with the Jews, but it doesn't stop with the Jews. So let's all stand together. This is about the decent against the indecent. We are here today, one family. Bring back our kids. Bring back our boys. We stand with the decent. Psalm 121. Those of you familiar with it, please say it with me or offer your own prayers. Shalom alot eso inay Elohorim ayin yubo Ezri. Ezri ve'il Adonai say Shamayim v'aretz. Al yiten lamod raglecha al yanum shomecha. Hinei lo yanum v'lo yishon shomei Yisrael. Adonai shomecha Adonai tzilcha al yad yaminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakecha. V'yarech b'layla. Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra. Yishmor es nafshecha. Adonai yishmor tzeicho v'recha me'ato v'yad olam. Amen. We are one family. One family. Bring back our kids to our family.
Please join Izzy Azagwi as he leads us in the prayer for the safety of Tzahal, the Israel Defense Forces. Izzy is a 25-year-old Special Forces operative in the Israeli Reserves. At the start of his service in 2009, he suffered a tremendous loss when a mortar struck him dead on. A year after losing his arm in combat, Izzy returned to active duty. He continues to serve there at 100% capacity, and in 2011, Izzy received an award from the President of Israel, Shimon Peres, for his endurance and passion to overcome the struggles of disability in combat.
I have bled for Israel, sacrificed for its people. Far before its expiration date, my left arm lies buried beside the Gaza border. And yet with such a sacrifice, I feel entirely at peace, whole. But this recent, outrageous action by Hamas is not a sacrifice any of us should be willing to make. You are here today because you know this is true. When I think of the 3 brave mothers sitting at home, racked with worry and fear, my heart sobs. And while I am awed by the strength these families show, my gut tells me that no one should have to demonstrate such strength and such bravery. Naftali's mother, Rachel, shouldn't have to cry out to the world to say, and I quote, "We are distraught with worry. They are boys. We just want them back. We want to hug them. Any decent person would do anything they can to get them back," end quote. Dear Rachel, Mrs. Frankel, this goes far beyond decency. We need to send a clear message to the world. Humanity needs to learn that no longer will Jews line up like sheep to the slaughter. Every action has a reaction, repercussions. Today, Israel is blessed with a strong, highly moral military that is doing everything in its power to bring our boys back. To those who would speak out against the brave men and women of the IDF, those who would dare tell us to show restraint, to them I say, I have served beside these young Israelis for over 3 years in more than 3 entirely different units. I am continually inspired by the morality and high regard these soldiers show for the enemies of Israel. However, this same caution and restraint of which we should all be proud is also what leads to casualties on the Israeli side. And for that reason, I will recite a prayer for our soldiers. Before I do this, I want to make something clear. The world will continue to condemn the steps Israel takes to find Naftali, Gilad, and Eyal. Israel and the Jewish people cannot give in to this pressure. Hamas's actions are deliberate and coldly calculated. Only months ago, an 18-page manual on abduction techniques was published by Hamas. Entitled Guide for the Kidnapper, it provided operational guidelines that outline the use of pistols with silencers, the use of backup cars, the choice of conducting the abductions on rainy days, a command of Hebrew, the renting of hideouts in areas to avoid arousing suspicion, among many other tactics. This is whom we are dealing with. And these terrorist entities, they understand only one form of action, and that is action. To those who would ask of us to bow our heads for these boys, to share a moment of silence, I say no. Not out of disrespect. My heart simply tells me that this is not the time to stay silent. Now's the time to speak up, to cry out, and to let our thoughts on the matter be heard. Naftali, Gilad, Eyal, stand strong. Hope is far from lost. The diaspora, along with many of Israel's friends and supporters, are praying for your safe and swift return. We all hope to hear good news soon. A prayer for the soldiers who will bring them back. מי שברך אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל, העומדים על משמר ארצנו, והרי אלוהינו מגבול הלבנון, ועד מדבר מצרים, ומן הים הגדול, עד לבוא הערבה, ביבשה, באוויר ובים. ייתן אדוני את אויבינו הקמים עלינו, ניגפים לפניהם. הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמור ויציל את חיילינו מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה, וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם. ידבר שונאינו תחתיהם ויתרם בכתר יהושע ובעטרת ניצחון. ויקוים בהם הכתוב כי אדוני אלוהיכם ההולך עמכם נילחם לכם עם אויביכם להושיע אתכם, ונאמר אמן.
How sensitive we are when it comes to human lives. And so today we all gather here demanding that the enemy will bring back our boys, but also sending a very strong message to the international community. Enough with the silence. This is time for the entire international community to send out a united message. Bring our boys back home.
Halberstam is a recent graduate of George Washington University Law School. Manny spent a year studying yeshiva in Efrat before...
Each and every one of you in attendance today should know that the families of Naftali, Gilad, and Eyal, they can all feel your love. They can all feel your support. and they can feel how much you care about the safety of their children. They can hear us chanting, "Bring back our boys," and they can hear us singing, "Shavu vanim ligvulam." I regularly speak with relatives who make daily visits to the Frankel resident, Naftali's home, and I can tell you with certainty that our chanting and our singing is helping these families stay strong during this very difficult time. Going forward, whatever we do, we must not stop chanting, and we must not stop singing until these boys come home. For time has the power to weaken our faith that these boys will return home, and time has the power to weaken our fervor for supporting these families. Naturally, the more time that passes without hearing good news, the less faith we have that Israel will help end up finding these boys. And the more time that passes, the less fervor we naturally have for supporting the boys' families, as the kidnapping incident naturally fades into our memory, from our memories. And yet maintaining our faith and maintaining our fervor for support could not be more important at this particular moment in time. For it is specifically at this moment, as we approach the 2-week mark since the kidnapping, when the families are likely to begin losing hope that they will reunite with their children. And therefore it is specifically at this moment when our support for these families and our hopeful attitudes towards the situation can play a major role in helping these families keep their spirits high. For this reason, we must strive with every ounce of our being to fight off the natural effect of time. We must not let time rob us of our faith that these boys will come home. And we must not let time rob us of our fervor for supporting the families of these boys. And if there are 2 messages that I hope each of you can take away from today's rally, it is exactly that. First, don't let time rob you of your faith that these boys will come home. And second, don't let time rob you of your fervor for supporting these families. We must not lose our faith, and we must not lose our fervor. And I will elaborate very briefly on each. First, we must not lose our faith that these
boys represent children all over the world. And we need to stand strong together to make sure that they are brought home safe. I'm asking the media, and I'm asking all of you out here today who came out, thank you so much. And I don't want to say no, we're not grateful, but it has to be more than this. When you leave today, this rally, what more are we going to do to stand together when we're not in New York City like this to bring these boys home? We need to keep the conversation going in the media. We need to keep it in social media and make sure that we are a part of bringing these boys back, because if we're not a part of the solution, we're part of the problem. So I'm asking you, as we stand here strong today, when we leave here, take the feelings that we have here from all of our speakers and from all the people that are empowering us. Take that message and let's do something more to make sure that these boys are brought home immediately safe to their families, and that no other children anywhere in the world will have to go through this. Thank you.